welcome to Amateur Kitchen, where I bring you into my kitchen and show you that you don't need to be a professional chef to cook or think like one. And today I'm making my game day chili. That's right, I'm getting ready for the big game, you know, Super Bowl, right? And what I love about chili is it's one of those recipes that I can have a ton of people over. Most everybody likes it, and let's face it, we can do it in advance and it really does get better as it sits longer. So I don't have to worry about cooking in the kitchen. I can just enjoy my company, have a few drinks. So let's go ahead and get started with this game day chili. I'm actually going to use a pound of ground beef, extra lean. Now you can use, you know, something not so lean. It's up to you. I do a lot of times use turkey too, ground up turkey. But when you're entertaining a crowd, sometimes it's just nice just to stick with the traditional flavors. So I'm going to head over to the stove and start browning this up. But before I do, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to incorporate a few spices with it as well. I'm going to use some chili powder, and I like doing it when the meat is kind of still not completely cooked because it helps, you know, kind of hold in those spices. So I'm going to use a little bit of chili powder along with some roasted ground cumin. I love cumin. I mean, it really is probably one of my favorite spices to use. If you can't find roasted though, that's okay. Just use regular cumin. And then I'm going to use a cayenne pepper just to give it that little kick, right? And then some garlic powder. Now after I'm done putting these all on the stove top and browning up my meat, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting up my vegetables, which I'm using one whole yellow onion, about 3 stalks of celery, 2 cloves of garlic, finely chopped, you know, minced, and 1 jalapeno that I've seeded and finely chopped. I love jalapenos, so it wouldn't bother me if I chopped into, you know, bit into a big bite of jalapeno, but most people don't. So go ahead and chop them real fine. And then 1 green pepper that's been seeded and chopped as well. So let's go ahead over to the stove and get started with this all. Okay, so just to get my meat started, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple tablespoons of EVOO into the bottom of the pan. And then I'm going to take my ground up beef and stick it in there as well, without the paper on the back, right? We'll go ahead and get a spoon and just kind of break it up a little bit. Awesome. Looks great. Now this is when I'm going to start putting in our spices. I'm going to use about 1.5 tablespoons of chili powder. So a good portion of it, and you can always alter how much spice you want in it. So if you don't want to do as much in the beginning, you can do a little bit more later and just kind of taste to see. So that's kind of what I like. I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of this roasted ground cumin. Love this smell, so good. And about 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder. And then about 1.5 teaspoons of the cayenne red pepper. And that's it. Just make sure your heat's up high so we can get this browning up real nicely, and we're going to head over and start chopping up our veggies that we're going to put in here shortly. So now that our hamburger has browned, I've chopped up our onions and garlic, and I like to put these ones in first just to kind of give the hamburger just a little bit more flavor. And I'll put the garlic in as well. And now with the garlic, you want to make sure that you don't burn it, so you might want to turn down your heat just to like a medium high or something rather than a high. And just kind of let these onions sweat out a little bit and kind of become a little translucent, and from there we're going to add the rest of our vegetables. So it's coming together, smelling delicious. So now that my onions have become a little translucent, by the way, the kitchen's smelling fantastic, I'm going to add in our green peppers along with our celery and then our 1 jalapeno that I diced and seeded. And you can skip on the jalapeno if you don't want it spicy, but really once you take those seeds and ribs out, it really isn't too bad, and you're going to cook it a little bit. So let's go ahead and stir this around, get all the veggies incorporated. And we're gonna let the veggies not become completely soft, but you know, just not so they're completely raw as well. So while we're doing that, let's head over and start opening up all of our sauces and everything else that's gonna make this chili fantastic. The meat and veggies are cooking great. I'm going to start opening up all of our cans. First off, I have a can of kidney beans, the red ones, the dark ones, and I drained them, but I didn't rinse them. I kind of like it when they're not rinsed because it does add a little bit of starchiness to the soup that I kind of want, so I'm just going to leave them like that. And then I'm opening one 14.5-ounce can of tomato sauce, whichever sauce you prefer, whichever one you like. And then I'm opening 1 can of the fire roasted tomatoes, like a diced tomato. Now these are fairly new that you'll find in your supermarket. You can always find, like, you know, fire roasted red peppers and, you know, but the tomatoes, this is so easy, so simple. You know, you could always do them on the grill or something like that, but you know, they're really inexpensive, pre-made. So this is what I get, and it adds just another level of flavor that you really are going to love in this chili, in the game day chili, right? And then I'm going to add 2 cups of just plain water right in there after I add all of this. And it's going to look kind of liquidy, just a heads up, which is okay because we're really going to allow for it to simmer for about 2-3 hours at least, to allow all the flavors just to incorporate. And this is going to kind of evaporate and keep it, you know, the consistency that you are used to by the end. So let's head over and start pouring all these in. Do I have enough hands? I'm going to have to come back and get the water. So what we're going to do is we're going to give this one nice good stir, and we're going to add in our sauce. Yum. And our fire roasted diced tomatoes. How delicious do those look? You're gonna love that smoky flavor that brings. And then our 1 can of dark red kidney beans, drained, not rinsed. And then our 2 cups of water. And trust me on this, it looks liquidy now, but once it sits for a while, it's gonna be absolutely perfect. And all of these flavors are coming well. Now if you have some tomato paste, go ahead and use like a couple tablespoons of that too. That would also be delicious in this as well. Really bring out the richness of the tomato flavor and whatnot. So we're just gonna leave this here and put it on like a medium heat, medium low, and cover it and forget about it for the next couple of hours. Oh my gosh, so I almost held out one really important ingredient, my secret ingredient, which is a Parmesan cheese rind. I got it from the end of the, you know, Parmesan triangle that you usually see me grate. Anyways, cut that off. Don't throw it away. If you're not going to use it, just go ahead and freeze it, but put it in here and let it sit, and it is going to make this chili over the top. I mean, that is literally my secret ingredient, so make sure you add that. We finished making our game day chili. I let it sit for about 2 hours at least. If you can do more, perfect. So I think we're about ready to serve. The only thing, first up, I have to mention, isn't this little thing cute? It was my mom and dad's when they were married, and now it's mine, so thank you. Anyways, I'm gonna put a little bit of fresh basil in here, and it just kind of brightens up the dish. Just do it last minute. I just kind of did a chiffonade, which is a ribbon cutting of some basil. So let's go ahead and scoop up this game day chili. Nice. Looks fantastic. If you need to alter the seasonings or put salt or anything like that in it, you know, while it's cooking, go ahead and do that. Taste it during, that's the nice thing about being the cook, is you can taste it all while you're cooking. And then I have a couple of toppings. You can mix and match, do whatever you want. I kind of like the Frito chips. I like the little crunch that it adds to it, so I'm going to put that on top, along with a little bit of cheese. But you can also find like sour cream or, you know, some little diced red onions or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and try this game day chili. Looks so good. I want to get the Frito chip too. My basil. Yum. That is so good. And it's really, it's kind of got a little kick from that cayenne and the jalapeno pepper that we chopped up. But just enough, you know, not, I mean, you could definitely serve this even to kids too, and it's not even that, you know, spicy for them. So this is really good. I'm going to try another bite. Fantastic. Well, I'm going to finish eating this, and this is what I'm having on my Super Bowl Sunday. I hope you are too. And join me again next time on Amateur Kitchen.